guess a few years ago, I was in a spot where I didn't have a bike, and I was on West Girard, and there was a guy who offered to sell me this bike for $20. And it was a lovely bike. It was clearly ill-gotten. And so I took it because I was in a bind. And so every shitty thing that happened to me on this bike was just a form of karmic justice. I want to give some context to this. I saw a Tree of Life, and so I'm in the mode where I'm like, let me contextualize the story by starting 4 billion years ago. I lived in my first slum in like 2007. It was where I was first introduced to things like centipedes and insulation that didn't insulate, and a landlord who was unresponsive. And I was biking to that house. The actual house has nothing to do with the story. It's just been a long time since I hated on that house. I told people how much I hated that house. I was biking to it on this ill-begotten bike, and long before there were flash mobs, there were just fucking assholes. It's screwed with you, because that's what they did. Instead of, you know, I don't know, playing video games, they just fuck with you. And so I happened to bike within eyesight of them. And there were 4 of them. It must have been, it was on, I think, 9th and Girard. It must have been about 15 years old. It was 2 boys and 2 girls. I was on my bike, my ill-begotten bike, and one of the boys throws a basketball at me. To impress a girl, I guess. I don't know why else he would have done it. I've never done that to impress a girl. I've never thrown something at a stranger, hoping that I will curry favor with a girl. I don't know, maybe I've gone about it all wrong. He's probably more successful at 15 than I am at 25. But. So, he throws this basketball at me. And the first in a string of bad ideas, it wasn't so much a bad idea, it's just a bad reflex. I just turned to him, and I'm like, well, what the fuck, man? Because that's what you say when someone throws a basketball at you on your bike. And they do exactly what you think they're going to do, which is they go, oh, like I fucking slighted him in some way. I've insulted him by, I could have said anything that would have been a slight. I could have said, oh, what's going on, man? Why did you throw the basketball? It would have been a slight, would have been an engagement for him to initiate whatever he wanted to initiate to begin with. So, this is hard to visualize, but he starts walking behind me with the basketball because it bounced off my back and back into his hand, so he already has the basketball again. And he starts coming up behind me, and I should have biked away immediately, as quickly as possible. But I'm worried he's going to throw it at me, and so I'm kind of turned and slowly biking, ready to deflect this basketball. And instead, what he does is the basketball was just a red herring for his scheme, which was to punch me in the face quickly and directly and really beautifully. It was a fantastic punch. I actually just want to tell the kid, if you're out there, I know you probably don't have YouTube because you're probably in fucking jail by now. But well done, sir. It was excellent for the size of your fist and your arm. I hate you, but you did a really good job. So it was excellent though. It was instantly it was just blood and like chips of tooth. There were gum. My bike was just painted like a Jackson Pollock with like my own blood. It was great. No, this kid did a great job. And so I called emergency because I wanted, you know, retribution on this child. And what they did, and this was their terrible idea, was I wanted a police officer to come. And they sent a fire truck and an ambulance. It was like a negative image of what should have happened. So they came to get me. They're like, well, what do you want us to do? I was like, I want a fucking police car here. I don't want a fire truck and an ambulance. They're like, well, do you want to go to the hospital? I was like, I don't know. I've never been jumped before. Is that what you do? Do you go to the hospital? Do whatever you need to do. I'll go with you. So they sent me to the, you know, they took me in there. I left with a bottle of Vicodin and information that there was nothing they could do because I had just gotten jumped. And eventually the bike, the cursed bike, was destroyed in the World Series brouhaha. I don't know, it was like somewhere between parade, riots, and I guess that's brouhaha, I don't know what that is. And to this day, I have a chipped tooth and a $500 ambulance bill